And now for your weekly dose of metal. Here are your hosts, Morgan Danielle and Luco Blaze on The Metal Experience.
All right. I am Morgan Danielle, and this is a brand new Metal Experience show. We are here with Joey Gasoline Dick and the Chin Air of Knowledge.
Hi.
We are with our friends Walk Among Us tonight, and we just opened the show with 2 tracks. That was Dead and Gone by the Darksiders, who we haven't heard in a long time. And then we heard a new Prison City Brigade song, and that was off of their new album that they just released this past Friday, and it was called Mixed Signals. And we are here once again, like I said, with Walk Among Us, the only piano Misfits tribute band. Hello, guys.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
Hey. Hi.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves and what you guys do in the band?
I'm Nate. I'm the drummer and band manager and art designer. And what are my other titles? Flyer designer and
designer. That's important.
Liaison, I guess, is a word. Sure, we'll use. I'm the band liaison.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go.
I'm Sarah. I guess I created this thing almost 2 years ago. But, I play piano. I play lead piano. I guess we call it clean piano. And art stuff. I made our logo.
Nice.
And next.
I'm Veronica. I'm the lead singer, and I play what we call dirty piano. And it's basically, I set up a guitar pedal, plug in my keyboard to it, and we get this cool distorted, bassy sound coming out of it. So it just adds a nice fuzzy layer to it. Makes it a little dirtier, if you will.
Nice.
And you sing.
And yeah, I said I'm the lead singer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
I
important.
said that.
My bad.
Yeah.
I'm Rob. I play bass and scream and key-ish.
Yeah.
Screaming.
He also is the master mixer and does all of our recording work. So everything you're hearing from us today went through the ears of Rob.
Yep.
Nice.
Ooh,
DIY.
through the ears and came out on the other side into ours. It's very intimate, Rob.
It's like an ear
We haven't even
orgasm
gotten to
here,
know
buddy.
each other yet.
You've invaded our ear holes.
You've already been inside of me.
I never meant
yeah.
to find out this way.
Well, on your sticker that you gave us, which was awesome, see, sticker, I'm holding it up for all to see. It says that you guys were established in 2015, so it's been like 2 years for you guys. How did you guys form and create this project? Since you said you were the mastermind, Sarah.
Oh, well, I don't know what led me to actually create it, per se. Yes?
Just keep talking to the mic.
Oh, sorry.
I'm losing you in my headphones a little bit.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Turn the volumes up in the headphones.
Okay. Well, I don't know what actually led me to create it, per se. I've always liked the Misfits. Always, I went to music school. I did that whole thing. I went to school to be a film composer, actually. So I know about a lot of different things, but I always listened to the Misfits, and my friends all love the Misfits, and nobody seemed to be tackling it like how I wanted to. I don't know. There's not a lot of stuff out there on piano. You don't hear piano in bands as a lead very much at all, if at all, especially in the punk scene. And that's just where that's just me. I don't know. I like certain kinds of things, so I wanted to create a fun thing that I wanted to hear music out there that you're not hearing all the time on the radio and in cover bands and stuff. You know, you got a lot of bands that go out and grind for 4 hours and they play a variety of different things and all the classic hits and all of that. And
Class of '84.
I like the Misfits. I like punk rock. I like that kind of stuff. And I've always been a classical player, and it just seemed like a lot of stuff was off limits because I was a classical player, which of course it wasn't, technically speaking. But anyways, it's I created this thing. I was like, one day I'm like, you know what? And actually, we didn't start with the Danzig stuff initially, because when I first saw the Misfits, it was 1999. Me and Rob went to see the Misfits when Michael Graves was the singer, and
I'm
a lot of
jealous.
people.
Me too.
We saw him at the House of Blues, like '99. Saw him a couple times that year. Actually, it was right at the cusp of when he was going to leave the band. So I think that was in 2000 that he left.
We saw Zoli with him.
We saw Zoli the second time, yeah, because he had walked off. It was I believe it might have even been the show prior to us seeing them the second time that he walked off stage or whatever he did. However that story went down, I can't quite remember.
What a drama queen.
From what I hear, there's varying reports of that. I wasn't there. I don't know, but yeah. So we saw
Not in the
Zoli.
Misfits.
Do you guys know that band Ignite? Zoli Teglas. Have you ever heard of that?
Think so.
It's a hardcore band. Zoli's got a hell of a voice.
I know Ignite.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
guy
Ignite, I
can
know.
sing.
Yeah.
Practically blew my ears off. I remember we walked in the doors. I'm like, who the hell is singing for the Misfits? There's this little like blonde, like little hardcore guy. I'm like, what is this? Just like he starts singing and it like I had to like cover my ears for the first time as a teenager, going, oh my god, I can't take this. Like it was so powerful.
Make
Yeah,
it stop!
That was an interesting like hybrid Misfits show. That was a very interesting show. But
Was he channeling his inner Tiny Danzig?
possibly, yes,
Hold me closer, Tiny Danzig.
yeah.
You don't know how often we're just walking around the house singing that, and not. I'm not even saying in our heads like aloud because it's just a thing now.
And there's some funny people on Instagram talking about Tiny Danzig.
Yeah, shout out to Tiny Danzig Adventures.
Yeah, what up,
we were
Tiny
out there
Danzig
at
Adventures?
Yeah. Yeah, it's meme city over there.
Pretty sure that's Miguel in Florida, but yeah,
I don't know people's names. I just know Tiny Danzig.
kind of.
But
Hey,
all you
get back on track. You were
I am
telling
gonna
about how
get
you
back on
created
track.
this band.
oh, that's right,
We
Michael
didn't want
Graves.
to do anything with like this.
So we started off. I decided to start off with us trying to perform all of Famous Monsters because that was the album that I remember really, really loving.
Me too.
Yeah, and it doesn't get the credit that it's due because everyone's so afraid to touch it because of the whole, oh, it's Michael Graves. Oh, it's not the Misfits. Oh, it's the Jerry Only Misfits. There's just the big argument about it. And then I feel like nobody plays the songs. And there's some really great songs on that album.
There is.
And as an album as a whole, as far as their efforts were concerned, I liked that album better than American Psycho. But I loved American Psycho as
I
well.
love me some American Psycho.
That's one of my favorite Graves tracks is
Crimson.
American Psycho.
I love
so
some
good.
Crimson Ghost.
And Crimson Ghost, yeah, there's some gems on that album, don't get me wrong. But like as an album, I really loved Famous Monsters growing up.
That
It was-
is a good one too.
yeah, one of the first ones that made an impact on me as far as at least punk rock and the Misfits was concerned. That was just such a powerful show. So it stuck with me. And I was like, you know what? Let's just try this. We didn't even plan on really performing it. We were going to try to just throw a Halloween show together. Like, let's just bang out these songs, see how it goes, you know. And we didn't do that. I actually, it took us a while to start gigging because I had to have surgery on my wrist. I had a cyst in my left wrist. I had had it for like, I don't know, the surgeon said maybe like a decade prior to that.
What?
I'd had it almost my whole career. Yeah, he
Wow.
said it was, I was in pain. It was in the way of a lot of nerves. And I just played through it. They say there's that whole sports analogy, which I believe teacher me, I'll try not to be teacher me too much, but piano teacher me believes is like the no pain, no gain type of sports mentality they put on musicians. I don't believe that's correct. If you have a lot of pain, you should be adjusting your technique. You should be doing
Right, because your hands are your
something-
instrument.
Correct. Like you shouldn't be pushing so hard that you're like crippled. You know.
Or
So
go
I-
get checked out or something to
Correct,
make sure
right.
something's not more serious than what it could be.
And actually, like a freak accident happens to even get you to see the cyst. It was
Right,
deep
you
in
couldn't
there,
even
and I
see
like
it
I like had like
the
a
whole
nightmare
time.
in the middle of the night and woke up and popped her on a bed. And she like turned on her wrist weird, and then all of a sudden the next day it was this big bulge in her
massive
wrist,
lump, yeah.
and it was like, got to go to the doctor, got to see what's up.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had been in physical therapy for an unrelated like tendon issue just from stress, tension. Because I play every day. I don't have a day job as it were. I'm a piano teacher from my studio at home, and so I'm playing all the time and I'm studying and I'm constantly in this backless bench. So I get lots of tension up here. So I was in physical therapy for that, and then the guy's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna probably have to have surgery on that." I'm like, "Lovely." I just started this band. Like I'm talking 3 months maybe before
Yeah.
I got that
Yeah.
cyst. Yeah. So we just continued to play, and I played until my arm felt like it was going to fall off, my wrist and my hand. and all that business. And I said, well, I'm going to have this surgery, and then maybe by next Halloween we can start gigging. So, I did that. I think that was, December of 2015 that I had the surgery. It was like New Year's, end of December, like right after Christmas. And, that's why it took a while before we started to gig. But I have a new hand now. It's like they put a whole new hand on me. I trained a whole new left hand in the past year, and it's fabulous. I love that I have
It's better than the first one you got?
Better than ever.
It is better, yes.
No
It is
pain,
indeed.
no nothing.
Nothing. I mean, I have scar tissue that's in the way. You could probably see it from here kind of catching. It's kind of gnarly. It's just, he said that's the best it's going to get. But it doesn't hurt anymore, yeah.
That's
So,
good to hear.
yeah, so that's how it ended up taking a while. But when was our first gig? It was August of 2016. Yeah, the year from hell, 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, a lot of things can't go into that. Like I played guitar for 16 years, and she came to me one day and she said, "Here, drumsticks. You're gonna be a drummer now." Now, I will say that in elementary school, I was a drummer. That's what everybody played fucking trumpet or whatever. I got drums because I couldn't do that at the time. You know,
just couldn't blow. Some people are made for blowing.
No, not I. I'm not made for that. So she gave me these drumsticks, and I was like, I've never really played a kit, like for more than just like dicking around for a couple minutes. I'm not going to do anything special. And then I started working on Famous Monsters, and then it was like it became rhetoric, and I forced myself to do Dr. Chud drumming, as my first task. And it's not like impossibly hard, but it gets you like geared up to learn more drums, which then evolves me into learning all the different styles the Misfits have had throughout.
Like with Danzig.
I wanted to save his your right hand.
Yeah.
Danzig
That
hand.
shit's insane.
Yeah. But, so I don't remember where I was at in my story.
I was just saying that I had to do the drum.
Was in August.
Oh yeah, we had our first gig in August. So really,
We were
a
opening
lot
for
of
the
that.
Ataris. That was cool.
Yeah, that was
For
cool.
our first gig, we got to open for the Ataris at Big Shots.
Yeah.
in
That is
Valparaiso.
amazing.
It was really fun. It was
Yeah.
a fun night. It was a good first show.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he hit on you guys?
Somebody did. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know what? He was
Yeah,
like,
before the show.
"Oh, you're not doing a lot of Danzig. That's bullshit."
Oh yeah, he did.
And I was just like,
He told us it was.
Well, because we did a hybrid set that night, right?
He
Yeah.
specifically said that was not the Misfits.
Oh, that's right.
the
Well,
lead
that's not
singer.
the
He said-
Misfits.
And then
said,
that's
"Oh,
where you
you're
go,
doing
you're not
good."
really punk rock.
I bit my tongue very hard.
You're more indie.
That's when I
for
remained a
sure.
professional in that moment, and I bit my tongue.
Good girl.
Took the higher road.
Yeah, well, it was our first show after all, so I didn't want to,
You didn't want to taint it right off the bat.
Hey, yeah, you don't want to have bad juju there, But
And since then, we've got to play some really cool places up
Yeah.
in Chicago and down in Indianapolis, and we've met a lot of really cool bands and made a lot of friends. And so far, it's just been.
We met you
full
at one of
steam
those
ahead.
shows.
Yeah. Luco played with you guys.
Sportsman's Black Wednesday.
Yeah, Black Wednesday.
oh yeah,
That was really fun.
It was a fun night. I'm curious to ask this question.
Yeah, go for it.
How are you guys in bands as well, or at least know the music scene and know how to
Just Luco. We
Okay.
tried one before when we first had the metal experience, and it was hard finding musicians.
Gotcha.
Morgan was in a band.
I've been in
before
a
the
few of
show.
them, and it's just for me doing this and everything else we do. It's hard to keep the schedule going. He's in so many things, so
I've been in a band here and there, but never done shows.
I'm just curious as to
I listen to
why.
music,
nice.
Awesome.
so that
Joe's
works.
That's
just
the
a
best way to be.
fan.
I just wonder why, like, some of these promoters nowadays have to have, like, I mean, the night that we played with Luke, there was 9 bands on that card, if you'll
Right.
remember. And those nights, they get on. I
Yeah.
mean, to be honest,
They
they're
do.
like long
Yeah.
nights. And it gets kind of weird because you don't know everybody that's necessarily in the bands because there's just
Right.
so many people there. So it's just for me, it's weird, I guess.
I think it's more toward they're trying to make their money, and then it's
Trying to get
also
the draw.
because the bar is open late. They're trying to make it so when more people show up later, there's people to see.
Right.
Ideally, the best set of shows is anything between having 3 to 5.
Correct.
I feel like
Yeah,
anything
3 or
that's
5.
going past 11:30 is just pushing it.
Yeah.
Especially on a weeknight when everybody's got day jobs, and and then you're bitching because people are leaving, and it's like, realistically, guys, if you're going to see national acts play, they're out by 10:30. There's a curfew for that, but you're asking these bands that are playing for not a lot of money to be staying or none till the end,
Right.
and they've got work the next morning, and you might be playing a Monday night. You know, it's a little ridiculous.
Or have a 2-hour drive.
Or have a 2-hour drive. It's a little.
And for someone like me, it's like I feel bad if like some nights I gotta go into work at like 6 a.m., 5 a.m.
They put you on a
like,
guilt trip for it.
I can't
you get
stay
trapped.
to the very
Yeah.
end.
Correct.
Yeah,
Because of the etiquette.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's not fun for anybody. It's not fun for the audience. It's not fun for the bands. You know, like I mean, well put together shows are something to be, you know, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
And you can tell the difference when you play shows like at places in the city. Like up in Chicago, you play shows there, and they're very tightly put together. Like every band has got their schedule. You're out of there at a reasonable time because they've got dance party A, B, C, D that's happening upstairs or wherever else. They're switching over to the club scene after that or whatever they do. But they're very tightly wound like that. Sometimes when you get out in the suburbs and different places, it gets a little, you know.
Right.
You get that trapped feeling, you know. That doesn't make for a good show.
Or it's like you're at the very beginning, you don't have that many people. You're at the very end, you don't got that many people.
Right.
So it's
Right.
that
You
best
gotta get
time
that
slot
sweet
is always in
spot.
the middle.
And if you just cut down on the number of bands and maybe like the number of nights that you have bands, like split it up, you'd get a better response, I would think, as venues anyways, bars
Instead of
and
just
stuff from the
cramming
community.
as many bands as
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, just a practical, I
Oh,
guess,
no, I hear
observation.
you.
But so we talked about how I gave you drumsticks.
Correct.
Right. So Veronica is actually an opera singer.
I was going to bring that up. I read that on the Instagram page.
Yeah.
We've never had somebody on the show that was classically trained in opera. This is interesting.
Is
Oh,
it?
she's trained.
I feel
yes.
like a little old lady when I tell people
No,
that
no,
I sing
no.
opera. It's like,
To do opera, there is just so much that goes into that technique to be able to do that type of voice. It's phenomenal that
Yeah,
you.
but
you.
breaking
that's
fucking
Shut
glass
up,
is
Joe.
awesome.
No.
Well, she's a high soprano.
I'm a coloratura soprano, and
Yeah.
I took voice lessons for like 15 years, and I started in like 2001 with the same teacher. Just recently passed away, and I would go there every week, and I loved singing opera so much. I thought it was different, and it made me happy because it was just weird, and nobody else I knew was doing it, and it was fun and elegant to me.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, Sarah said that I should sing this punk stuff, and I was like, fuck yeah, that sounds great. I've been in a couple other bands here and there in high school and, in college, trying to make things work here and there, and nothing ever really stuck. And I just did the opera thing for a while and committed to that. And this is more fun. I get to be with my best friends and scream about ridiculous shit. It's like therapy for me,
Yeah, for
getting
all of
able to
us,
just
really.
like get
Yeah.
out this like rage and transmute it into this like awesome feeling of like joy,
Now,
just
did you-
screaming about,
Did you listen to like the punk before all this, or
Yeah, I liked punk music ever since I was little. My dad was a guitar player, and he was super into metal. So I grew up listening to a lot of metal, and my mom was like super into like, oh God, what did she love? She loved like Joy Division and The Cure and Morrissey and like all of that stuff. So I've always had like a really eclectic taste in music, and I never like religiously listened to the Misfits in my youth. I heard them here and there, and I dug it. I liked it, and then when this opportunity presented itself, she's like, "You should be singing this stuff and take a break from the other stuff for a while." And I was like, "I think that's a great idea. Let's do it." So I did it.
But we
Job
still
well
play
done.
the opera together sometimes.
Yeah,
Right.
Sarah and I originally wanted to do like a little piano jazz thing where we, take
Yeah.
older songs and make them more, not contemporary, but just like jazz them up a bit and make them,
Well, and not just that, but also like stuff like, I don't know.
We
your-
did
your
David
standard
Bowie
cover
and-
band stuff,
Yeah.
but just as piano vocal duo stuff. We started. That was way before I did the Misfits thing.
yeah.
That was Yeah, that was before that.
And
but-
we didn't want to like get stuck in that type of cover band thing where
Yeah,
we're
it's-
playing the same boring covers that every other piano duo or acoustic guitar player is playing in restaurants and shit like that, you know. So we didn't fit into that box, and I mean we could have made it work if we wanted to, I think, because we enjoyed it, and there's a lot of songs that we did that we still like, and like old 60s songs and 70s songs, but I don't know, there's just something different about
Elvis
doing the
and
Misfits where it's just more raw and visceral, you know. The energy about it is fun.
Not bad.
Now, Quiet Rob in the corner there.
Yeah.
How did you get involved with this group?
I've known Sarah for probably like 98.
98 years? Jesus Christ!
8 years.
You look fucking great for
You look good.
120.
Well, yeah.
You know,
Half of our lives we've known each other, probably.
yeah, so we've played in bands for a while. And yeah, we were in for one for a while, and then just on and off we've done different things. And I just always wanted to have a piano in a punk band. Some of my favorite records had piano in it. And
TSOL. Yeah.
TSOL, The Damned.
Damn, yeah.
Bands thrown in here and there, and it gives it a different texture, a different emotion that you couldn't get with just guitar and bass and a dude singing or a girl singing, whoever. So I've always wanted that, and why not the Misfits?
Yeah, why not?
They have like 100 awesome songs, maybe not that much, but like
How many?
it's
There's a lot of songs. I think you're pretty close with 100.
I mean,
We know half of
name
And
a
the-
song
and-
you'd be bummed to hear. You know, for the most part. So it's like you have many sets you could do.
That is true.
Lots of possibilities.
It's like that and the Ramones. You could do like a month's worth of sets and be all of them be different probably.
But mostly in the same key.
Yeah. And the same chords, but that doesn't matter.
I love that. No, it doesn't. I love that.
You just got to remember, it's like, I want to go down to the basement. I want to
Yeah.
be I want to be the... Just remember what you're going to be, and that's all.
You guys actually have a recording of the first single that you released to put on your Bandcamp. You brought with tonight. So what song did you cover and release first?
Oh, it was Horror Business.
Horror
It was one of those things when we first started the Danzig era stuff. We only did like 4 tracks. It was like Skulls, Last Caress, Halloween, and Hybrid Moments. And, you know, they're fun and all. But when we started working on like going deeper into the Danzig waters, if you will, I'm pretty sure Horror Business was like first on the list of let's like work on that song. And then when we heard it in our style, it was like, other people have to fucking hear this. It's really cool. Like have you guys heard the track yet?
Yes.
Everybody's heard it?
They haven't.
No.
I left it as a surprise for them.
Excellent.
Luco and I have.
Okay, this is cool.
It's on my
So-
iPod.
Oh, that's cool.
We jammed it in the car yesterday.
Oh, that's excellent. But yeah, no, we shockingly we banged that record out, or like recording on 2 takes. Everything is
Wow.
2 takes.
That's pretty awesome.
And-
That's good.
We don't do a lot of. Well, Rob can comment on the mixing and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but,
Rob's like I said,
we
the
don't
mix
mess with
master.
it. Like my piano performances are as is. I don't mess with them. I usually do 1 or 2. Usually the second take ends up being the best one. Maybe I'll do 3 if I'm feeling like if it's a particularly intricate one or whatever. But
Well, it helps that they're
Yeah.
shorter songs too.
But yeah, true, yeah. But same goes for the vocals and all of that. Like we don't like copy and paste it because it's the same, or like anything like that, like the verses and the choruses and stuff. Or, we
Plus,
were
it's
just
very punk
talking
to
about
keep
that,
it
yeah.
raw.
Correct.
Yeah, it's better
Yeah,
that
we didn't
way.
want it to sound like overproduced or anything.
Yeah.
We wanted to
Right.
capture the energy that we were doing while we recorded it.
because that's the point.
Plus, we've
Yeah.
played these songs so much that
It's just second.
Right.
just
Yeah.
recording it was pretty easy. It felt pretty smooth after 1 or 2 tries, and we're like, well, I don't think we could do it any better.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, well, we put a lot of work into what we're doing, you know, being that we've only been gigging since like last August, and we've been practicing a lot longer than that together, like every week, religiously, every Monday, getting practice
Oh, yeah.
done so we can, make it sound as tight as we can.
Well said.
Well, let's go ahead and play Horror Business for everybody to hear on the show. So here we go. Here is Walk Among Us and their version of Horror Business.
Witherer. Hi, Witherer. And we're addicted to metal on the Metal Experience.
And we are back on the Metal Experience. We just heard Walk Among Us with their version, which was a pretty awesome version, I do gotta say, of the Misfits classic Horror Business.
Oh, thank you.
And that was
Thank you.
fucking
Bad fucking ass.
I forgot how sassy it sounds.
Yeah, we haven't heard it in a while.
Yeah,
It's got a little punch to it. You know, you
Yeah.
hear the attitude in it that it's meant to have. It's phenomenal.
And it,
Well, thank
like,
you.
like you all were
Appreciate
saying, is it actually does work.
Yeah.
Like
Great.
I was listening to it and it's like, oh wow.
No guitars, right? Isn't that weird?
When we saw you guys, when I realized, first off, when you hear piano tribute, you think it's only going to be pianos.
Yeah.
But it's good to have the drum there for the rhythm to be able to, keep the beat. And that's important, I'm sure, for piano players too. But to have a bass player too to do that, to the heavy thud behind it, that's even better, because sometimes it feels like bass players are underrated because the guitar is always playing everything that you want to hear. So when the bass can stand out and play that on its own, that's awesome too. So Rob, you have a very pivotal point in this band.
Thanks.
We,
Except now
we
I
couldn't
can't
agree
hide
more.
as much.
Yeah, don't hide in the back. You got to get into it. We
I
gotta
can't
see-
hide behind the lead guitar player anymore.
No, but you got to do some of those jump kicks, and twirl.
I'm working on it.
You got the beard, the ZZ Top stuff. So
That's why we kind of like the sound that we have with the two pianos, the drums, and the bass, because they each have their own individual part that we're playing. That just kind of comes together and makes one really cool full sound.
It
Yeah.
fits and
It does.
works and it's awesome.
I'm so
Thank you.
glad. Yay. Yeah, we get one of my favorite parts of this whole thing is surprising people, because we get a lot of people that come up to us before the show. They'll be like, man, I thought I was just going to see one dude with a piano and it was going to be this lounge. I didn't know if I needed a martini. People are they don't know what to expect, because we'll be in punk rock places playing, gritty places. And then they'll come up to us after the show and be like, oh, that was I don't even know. That was just crazy. I don't understand it. And it just makes me giggle every time. It's
You got the shoulder
it's
strap
magical.
and the electric keyboard and shit. And
Yeah, I
punk
don't
rock
have
hair.
that. No.
No.
I mean,
Really
If-
want to keep
I
Yes.
wish.
If it
I
was up
wish.
to me, I'd be playing one of those dusty grand pianos that's all covered in chairs over there that I'm staring at as we're sitting here. Well, they can't see it because they're radio
Right,
people,
right.
but
No,
radio people listening to this
just
podcast.
picture a lonely
Yeah.
piano in the corner,
There's
covered
two-
and unattended to.
Yes, they
Treated
make,
like
beautiful
shit.
Some touches of
dovetailed-
love.
Yeah.
there's two pianos.
There's a Santa underneath. He's climbing
been
this
there a while
sad
then,
piano.
Or humping. He's
Yeah,
in
this is
mid hump.
Storage pianos. This is exactly this whole scene in front of me is showing me why I'm doing this more and more, because my instrument is getting buried under chairs and is just everywhere I go. The
Covered in
piano.
dust.
Listen, I try. It used to be when I was taking piano lessons growing up and things, I looked forward to this career, as it were, my piano teachers would play in hotels and bars and restaurants. Everywhere you went had a piano in the 90s, 80s, back in the, and then all of a sudden it rolled over to college years, and I go to college and I'm like, oh, I love the symphonics. I'm studying music theory. I'm doing all this, orchestrating and things. And then I get out of college and it was just where'd all the pianos go? Everybody got rid of them. They're oh, we don't need that. Nobody comes here to play that anymore. It's gathering dust in the corners of the rooms, and it's just synth. Every band that tried to hire me, I've had many cover bands over the years, tried to want cover bands, other types of bands, original bands, whatever. They all want me to play keys. Keyboard, synthesizers, make the sounds, make the Journey sounds, make the synth sounds, make this epic organ sound, do this, do that. And I'm well, that's nice. It's great, but you just took away my whole connection to the music by doing that. For me, it's hammers and strings, and it's piano, and it's always has been piano. And that's a big part of what motivates me to do this with music that you wouldn't expect to do this with. And I appreciate it so much that you said it works for you when you listen to it, because that means that I've orchestrated and done my job well with these lovely musicians that I love, my best friends.
It
Yeah.
really does work.
I mean, it's all right.
How do you come up with the piano tones and your whole construction of the song after hearing it? Like, how long does it take you to come up with how you're going to play it?
Well, that's...
Depends on the song.
It depends on the song. I don't know if you mean like personally or as a band. Like you mean like when I'm deconstructing it on my piano, like to start off. These days it doesn't take me more than half a second. I can listen to I've been listening to the Misfits for so long. It's just kicking around in there. I mean, over half my life I've been listening to this band like continually. That was the thing that's what I was mentioning earlier about how like all through music school I was listening to this. It's like I always have gone back to Glenn Danzig's music. There's something weird and infectious and just straight up spooky about it. I don't know. Like I just love it.
You were drawn to Danzig. You were drawn to the Misfits.
I guess. Yeah. So when I first started to do this, it took me a long time. I mean, it would take me. Your ears just get better after a while. I've been transcribing music for a long time. I've had other little bits of success here and there transcribing like metal songs and things.
She did Darkness Within by Machine Head, and they heard it, and we met them because of it.
That's
awesome.
She acts like it's not a big deal, but it's actually like pretty awesome.
Well, we're talking about Walk Among Us. So.
I know, correct.
I wasn't gonna.
It's a step in the journey, I think.
It's just called the metal experience. Any story having to do with metal.
I guess that's true. Machine Head is very metal.
Punk.
Yeah.
Anything. You're welcome to say whatever you want.
True. I mean, I could go off on that tangent story if I wanted to.
It's up to you. I don't know.
You could do whatever you want.
That was Cliff Notes.
Tangents away. We're not worthy.
Yeah. Well, now I can't remember what I was talking about. What was I talking about? I started thinking about Rob Flynn.
Deconstructing the piano.
Oh, that's right. Your question. Yes. Well, it took a long time at first because there's a certain way to play this music to make it not. Hopefully for the listener, not cheesy, because that's where you border on the piano. It's like this teetering little edge, like of cheesiness versus not cheesy. Like, you know the cheesy piano versions of things when you hear them. Like, I probably don't have to describe much more than that if you've heard cheesy lounge versions of things. So I feel like there's a fine line there.
Richard Cheese.
Yeah. It took a while. It took a while to get over that, to try to figure out a way to do it that was respectful to the way that Glenn Danzig wrote his harmonies. I mean, you can't fill in harmonies in places where there are none, or sometimes you can because they're implied by your ear. It just depends. So there's a lot of very fine-tuned musical decisions I made at the get-go when I was conceptualizing it. But now it's like we'll be like, oh, you want to learn 4 songs today? And we'll just start listening to them. And me and Veronica usually sit down first. Sometimes if it's a bassier one, me and Rob will sit down and we'll work out the bass lines and things like the other track that we just recently did.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. That one's one of the more bassier ones. Now me and Veronica can just sit at the piano. She obviously plays piano too. So usually we'll play them kind of as duets first, and we'll work them out together. We can learn songs relatively quickly. They take a little bit longer to master, when we're practicing them together. But we'll have them after 3 or 4 jams on them usually. Damn. But yeah, they're much quicker these days. We're hoping to learn the whole catalog.
I was going to say, how many songs do you know right now out of their catalog?
30.
Well, we counted a couple weeks ago because we were interested in knowing ourselves. I think there are 52 Danzig-era songs. We have 26 of the Danzig-era songs.
Oh,
there are 2 Michael Graves albums. We have one of them completely learned.
Yeah, we did.
Because Famous Monsters, cover to cover, we've done that already.
Wow.
So that was an interesting thing. We got billed to play that as a whole, and then some of that got taken away from us.
At a Michael Graves tribute.
At a Michael Graves tribute, no less. They were doing a benefit for him because his trailer got stolen for the 80th time or whatever.
The 80th.
And
how does it keep happening?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a great mystery. Lock your shit better, I guess. That's the end result.
The story I heard was they literally just took the hitch and put it on another.
Why isn't your hitch locked?
I don't
Great
know.
question.
They drove off with dude's entire trailer,
oh my God.
all of their belongings, everything.
Yeah, all their merch and stuff. But this place, the Looney Bin, was putting on a benefit. They asked us to do all of Famous Monsters. We got there, and the guy that was scheduling the show was sick, so he wasn't there. They put someone else entirely in charge who booked 2 older dudes to jam for an hour and a half.
Fun.
And then we essentially only got to play like 35 minutes of that album and not the whole thing.
At like
That's bullshit.
1:30
You
in the
worked
morning.
so hard on learning all that too.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
were mad. They left in the middle of our set, like, book these guys again. They were like telling people to book us again and stuff.
It was getting
'cause
so late.
It was so late. We didn't finish up
We didn't
until
get home until like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it was like
exhausting.
Damn.
Yeah, we were up like all night because of that, and we were there like before a lot of the other bands too. So we were there like the whole time, you know, because I think we drove like what, an hour or something. Like,
So I think the
over an
number's
hour?
44.
Wow.
Shit.
That's impressive, guys.
Yeah, as of right now.
Thanks.
And that's not counting the 2 we just worked on yesterday.
True. Yeah. Yeah,
Going
we
on
know.
46.
We're hoping to debut a couple new ones when we do the show at
Hell
LaFiCon
yeah.
with the Doom Room.
Yeah. Our dream is to just go to shows and not have a set list and just have the crowd just
What
go,
do you guys
"This
wanna hear
one,
next?"
This one, this
That's
one, this
Just
one.
smart.
improvise the whole entire set.
That is
Yes.
really
Yeah.
smart.
That is what we want to do.
That actually, I don't think any band has done that.
No. To be able
Just do a
to be
whole
able to
set list of
master
requests.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be.
because there's a limit, you know. There's only so many songs. They're not going to write anymore.
Well, would you book it as Walk Among Us play your favorite Misfits classics?
I
Probably.
don't know. How would we book that?
I don't know.
I think you would just announce at the beginning of your set, here's how this is going to work. We're going to play anything you want. Shout it
Fucking
out.
pick
And then
one.
just choose whatever you're hearing.
Do we have to tell them that we kind of do avoid the Jerry only era Misfit songs?
Yes.
Is there a
We do
reason
avoid
for
them.
that?
You know,
forgot
honestly,
about them, actually.
part of that's like kind of me. I think that was my first experience seeing the Misfits live was Jerry Only's
Mine
Misfits,
Mine
and it was at the Pearl Room in Mokina. And I got lucky. I got to see the Addicts play, and that was an awesome show. But
Me
but
too.
Jerry Only was just, you know, he performed okay, but he's not a lead singer. And I can't take him seriously as a lead
Right.
singer. I can take Glenn Danzig seriously as a lead singer. I can take Michael Graves seriously as a lead singer. So I can't really invest anything into the style of Jerry Only's writing when he's the lead
Yeah.
singer. There's something missing, I think, in translation. He wants to do it, and I think that if he could find somebody to sing for him the songs he writes, maybe not be so bad.
Yeah, because he writes great songs. It's just-
Yeah.
But then the Misfits became half Danzig or half Black Flag.
Right. It was like
Yeah.
who did we?
It was Robo and
like, Mar-
Dez.
One of the Ramones.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
And Marky played
Marky
with
was
Dez.
Yeah,
playing,
Marky.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It's because the first time I ever saw them was West Dundee, and that show was just weird. 21 and
little
over was the
strange.
floor. 21 and under had to stand on this balcony.
At least he
Weird.
rubbed my head when he passed. I had Jerry
I gotta
only touch
meet
me.
him.
I had Jerry only sell me a T-shirt at my first show back in the day. Veronica wears it now. It doesn't fit me anymore, but it was like a '90s like baby doll style, old school. Yeah, I bought it at that first show, and I wanted to buy a large, and he's like, "No, honey, you need the medium," and he would not sell me the large T-shirt. He would only sell me the medium T-shirt. That's a true story. Jerry
Jeez.
only.
I beat you. I sold him a chicken.
You sold
did.
Jerry only a chicken.
Yeah.
How does that work?
He came. I worked at Whole Foods in Chicago, and he came in on Thanksgiving Day wearing the rattiest Misfit sweater with the sleeves cut off, and like his hair pulled back,
point
so
of
it's
a
like
sweater, then?
you know his head. So, and he's kind of deaf.
Oh,
So I'm sitting there putting stuff away. All of a sudden, he's like, "Hey!"
I want a chicken.
He's like, "Can you get me one of those?" Sorry, I can't even talk, but it's so funny. And it took me like until the end of our meeting to realize who he was.
Because he looked like a homeless man?
He did. He was wearing sweatpants.
Oh my god.
He's just sitting there like this
I
fucking
thought
weird
he-
guy.
I was like, he looks so comfortable right now. It looks great. He's wearing a sweatshirt, sweatpants. I don't know what shoes he's wearing, but I'm sure they were comfortable.
I hope they were Crocs.
Oh my god.
I wish they were like Crocs or sandals.
They
or
were
something.
probably Chucks, and that was like the most bizarre getup just because the Chucks.
Sandals with socks.
Not because of the cut off sweater.
No,
He may have been
Everything
floating,
else is
I don't
normal. It's punk, but the Chucks throw it off, you know?
Yeah, he yelled at me like getting a chicken, but he was super nice about,
Super nice.
Hey, you, give me chicken.
Yeah, it was great.
No, not that one. That fucking one right there.
I wanted to ask when you guys are recording songs and booking songs and everything, does it work differently for you guys being a tribute band? How does that work with their music being copyrighted? Knowing, like, how does it work for tribute bands in general? Have you looked into that?
Oh yeah, and it's really kind of awesome because as long as we're not selling the material, we can play it wherever and however. The only thing is there are going to be some venues, and this does exist, but we've not really ran into any, or at least we've not been booked at any, where they don't pay what they call like a cover song fee, and it's a venue's thing they have to pick up to do that. And if you don't pick up that fee, people can like call you out and say, oh, they're not paying the fee and they've got covers there, and then they can actually get in trouble and get fined and stuff. But for the most part, it's always on the venue. It's not on us.
Okay, gotcha.
So.
And what about making merch? Have you guys considered making your design, which by the way, guys, when you look at the teeth of the Misfits logo, instead of like the broken teeth, they're piano keys.
Yeah, I drew that when I was watching TV one day.
That's amazing. And you have that awesome purple one too on your Facebook.
That was for our Famous Monsters thing. I did a colored pencil. That's all colored pencil.
I thought it was
Famous
watercolor. It looked really cool.
Oh no, it was
though.
Prismacolor colored
there you
pencils.
Go.
Yeah.
But do you guys have any plans on making like shirts and stuff with that on it? Or coming up with your own design that's like Misfit kind of inspired?
Well, here's the thing. This is something that I have deeply looked into, and one thing I can tell you is the most copyright stolen image in the history of music is the Fiend Skull.
Yeah.
And here's the most beautiful part about that. It's not even the Misfits to steal. They stole it from Crimson Ghost, the like 1957 horror movie.
Right.
So, by right, it kind of like...
It's nebulous.
Exactly. Thank you. Great word. But...
it's been changed, and Sarah drew it from hand for our logo and changed the teeth and made it our own, or her own. I should say.
Yeah, it's not the same shape of the actual skull as the Fiend
Correct.
Skull.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all drawn by hand, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't exactly stock, straight from it. But
No, that makes sense. And I love the originality. I mean, you may be a tribute band, but it's not like, you got the Metallica one that's around here that, even though they're female fronted of it, they try their best to sound like what was already made. Or then you guys played with, and not that it was awful, but the Marilyn Manson tribute that played after you guys.
Yeah, we saw
he was trying to be Manson.
I don't know that he has any other career options because he looks so much like Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, I felt like
maybe
I was
it was Manson. We just
Antichrist Superstar in person. It was super bizarre. I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. But like really with merch and stuff, okay, as far as stickers are concerned and like posters and whatever, free. We don't for this, it's the love of the music, really.
Absolutely.
Like genuinely. The shirts and stuff, we do have a thread list that have a couple of our designs that people can go to, and we're just kind of if people really, really want a shirt right now, that's how we're going to have to do it until we can actually get some capital ahead to get a bulk order of shirts together for us to take. But we're not trying to make a ton of money on this, so it's not like we're generating heavy capital, even though we are tributing another act.
And we're not out to step on any toes either as far as the copyrights are concerned, because that's not really what it's about. It's interesting, though, when you are in a tribute band, you start to study these things. You go down the rabbit hole of studying. We've asked other people that are in tribute bands, and truthfully, unless it's an entertainment lawyer that we've talked to or something, which we have not, but everybody's just towing the line in these tribute bands as far as copyrights are concerned when it comes to that. There is things about a parody or something. Like there's a parody clause that you can parody things and change it so much or whatever. Like there's a whole section that covers it. I don't know. It's all boring to me. I just want to know, okay, can I do this? Can I create this? That's great. Like let's move forward with it until we can't do that anymore, because we're not, we're not out to try to be the Misfits. A lot of the tribute bands, like you were alluding to, they try so hard to be somebody that they're not, which is not the point of even making music to begin with. The point of it is you have this lovely filter in your head, and everybody listens to music, and they hear some things that are the same, but everybody kind of has their own way of listening to music that goes through their own little filter. That's the unique thing about it, the art thing about it, And if you just let yourself use that filter and do what you do, and then you play the songs that you like and that you're connected to, you're going to have a sound that is unique to you and that's not trying to rip somebody off. It's not about emulating a recording. It's not about that, you know. I think that's where a lot of people, quite frankly, get it wrong. I mean, no offense to tribute bands or anything, because clearly we're doing our thing. But that's just not what we do. That's not what we're trying to do. There's no trying in it. Like, we love to make music. We're all musicians. We've all been musicians for our whole lives. Like, I mean, collectively, I don't know how many years put together each of us has given to the craft of music, you know?
A few.
So
Long time.
Like you said,
yeah,
98.
very long. I mean,
And it's really difficult for me to look like all the different thousands of drummers the Misfits have had. So I'm glad that we don't have to emulate look, because that just get a little annoying, you know. Once in a while, we have done things where, like, Sarah's put on different, like Skullface once in a while, or I've done the Devil Lock before, but it's more for us and not to look like them or anything, you know.
Well, then you got to go be a wrestler, because they were wrestlers at one point.
Hey, I love
Time
wrestling.
to start training.
That's a whole other podcast we would have to start.
Oh,
which
man.
Journey into Wrestling is real. I have that podcast as well, and we'll save that for another show, my friend.
Well, before we release
The Kraken?
the special track that you brought with tonight, you guys have also requested to play just a couple songs of bands that you've played or are going to be playing with that are from the Chicago or Indiana scene. Who did you guys want to play with? Right now we've got the Lurking Corpses. We have the
Fastidio.
Thank you. And then we also have, I'm thinking about the other
Night of the Round.
Night of the Round.
Yeah. So Lurking Corpses and Night of the Round, we've actually not yet played with them, but we are going to be at the Doom Room presents LaFiCon's after party April 1st. Those bands are really unique in their own right, because the Lurking Corpses is horror punk, true to the genre that the Misfits created, that sound, but they're their own entity.
I thought they add like death metal to it.
And they do have some different feel, correct, where they take, and you know, but then you have like a band like Night of the Round, who's a Final Fantasy metal band. They literally take Final Fantasy tunes and make them metal as fuck, and they're super, super awesome. So the show that we're about to do at LaFiCon is really interesting, because you got this punk rock piano tribute to the Misfits, this horror punk band, and we kind of fit together, and then Final Fantasy metal. And it's awesome. So those guys are cool. And then we played with Fastidio at Punk Rock Night Indy. Shout out to the Mel and those guys. They were awesome when they had us.
show.
The Indianapolis scene is, I dare I say, probably the liveliest we've played.
That was a good scene. They got a good scene down there.
Correct.
True.
Yeah, there's a band called Delta Queen that we played with them at their debut show at the Mel in Indy, and they were fabulous hosts and had us over, and everybody down in Indy was so super cool. Like the Fastidio band was really great. The Latin punk band. They did a cover of Halloween right before we went on stage. It was so good.
They got the crowd hyped, and it was really weird. We go look at the set, and I was like, oh, shit. We left Halloween off of our set. I didn't plan that at all, and they played it, so it was like perfect.
Well, it would be funny if you guys actually did Halloween after them. Be like, hey, we know you guys just played Halloween,
but
we're going to play Halloween.
We're going to open with Halloween now.
Has that happened yet?
There was a band, I forget, I saw. They did a cover, and then the other band after them did the same cover.
Oh, that's hard.
That's rough.
Well, let's go ahead.
Though.
Let's knock out the Lurking Corpses first for the horror.
Sure, is
punk.
this Lady Frankenstein?
We do have Lady Frankenstein.
Cool.
Awesome. So here we go. The Lurking Corpses. Here's some horror punk music. Going to be at LaFiCon for the Doom Room show that Walk Among Us will also be playing. Check it out.
Crazy for you. Hi, I'm Brandon.
Hey, I'm Ben. We're from Snowberry, and you're listening to The Metal Experience.
We are back. I am Morgan Danielle with the Chin Air of Knowledge, Joey Gasoline Dick, and our friends in Walk Among Us. And we just heard a band that is playing Laffy Con with the band coming up here. That was the Lurking Corpses with their song Lady Frankenstein. And unfortunately, I couldn't get the other song that we were planning on playing Net of the Round. We're having some technical difficulties, but we will definitely try to get them on our show coming up here to make it up to them. So here we go. So, Derek, you have a segment to do now.
I have nothing.
What?
Shitty segment.
Ooh.
I know nothing about this segment.
Time to sit back and relax and listen to the one that the metal gods themselves gave us. It's time for the heaviest of them all, the Chin Air of Knowledge.
Hi.
Hi.
We haven't been here in 2 weeks.
No, we haven't.
I got a shit ton of stuff, unfortunately.
Ooh, well, that's not unfortunate, so tell us what you got.
I don't got much.
Derek, you have a stapled page of paper
I do.
Their
that
words
has like
and
3
sentences.
things attached to it. I'm
paragraphs.
pretty sure you have
So
things.
there has
Good
been
stuff.
a lot of tours announced.
Well, start it off.
One's being Tool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That
they're-
sold out, though.
Okay, well, June 28th at the Allstate, they're playing. And then Animals as Leaders in Vale of Maya tour.
Dirty Nellies.
Yeah, May 5th. Then Morgan, I don't know if you know this, but Beastie Boys DJ Mixmaster Mike has been added to the Metallica show.
I can't wait.
He'll be doing hard rock and metal tracks throughout the night. The other one is this band called The Obsessed. They're going on their first headlining tour in the support of their first newly recorded album in 20 years. They'll be at Bottom Lounge on April 19th. And then if you can't make it to that, on May 21st, they'll be at Rock Island and at the Rock Island Brewing Company. Then Destruction is going to be coming in with Jungle Rot and Warbringer. And they'll be May 28th at Chicago. Scorpions are going to be touring this summer with Megadeth.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, there's only one date so far, but they're going to be announcing more dates as it progresses. But it's supposed to be a whole U.S. tour, so I'm pretty sure either Wisconsin, Indiana, or Chicago show. And then Primus, they're going to become tour with Clutch. August 1st, they'll be at the Eagles Ballroom. There's no Chicago date right now, so that's in Milwaukee. And then tour I'm looking forward to is May 11th at Reggie's, Shining from Sweden, and Revenge from Canada. So I'm looking forward
Playing
to
the
that.
same show?
Yes.
Cool.
So the tour is called the No More Safe Space Tour.
Well,
Yeah.
better be careful.
Well, it's because the singer of Shining actually cuts his wrists open on stage and everything
that's
else.
disgusting.
No way.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's the depressive black metal from Sweden.
Depressive
for a
black
buck.
metal. Wow.
You know who else you can see at Reggie's?
You guys.
Haha, yeah.
What day?
Yeah.
April 6th,
Got the
actually.
badass flyer right in front of me.
We
Boom.
brought flyers. That's my riff on a Goosebumps book
I was
called
going to
Ghost
say,
Beach.
it looks like a Goosebump book cover, and now it makes sense that it's Ghost Beach. Ghost Beach. It totally does.
Ghost Beach.
Beach.
I like it.
Bistro.
Beach.
But yeah, we're
Nice.
playing with like Outrageous and Bedtime Lullaby, or Bedside Lullaby, Bedtime Lullaby.
Bedside Alibi.
Bedside Alibi. I always screw that up.
It's a Lola alibi.
What is it? Stern Approval and Zahar.
Sweet. So be sure to go to that one, everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. You can get tickets from us for $8, or they're 10 at the door. So save $2. Come say hey to us, even though we don't have the tickets at this current moment available.
This magic moment.
Hey, that's another Misfits technically.
Project 1950.
Yeah. I own it. I do. It's not my favorite.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
That was another interesting thing. We had a show at Jerry Lee's Pub coming up for LaffyCon, and we have this huge affinity for Jerry Lee Lewis. Obviously,
he's
since we're
my
piano players.
Yeah, spirit
And,
animal.
Yeah, he's our spirit animal. We try to channel him while we
Absolutely.
play.
He's a human being. Do you still call that spirit animal?
Yes.
We
I don't
you
know.
kidding
That's
me?
internet
Energy.
thing. Are we supposed to say that? I don't know.
He's
if we're
like
supposed to
one
say
of the
spirit
masters of the piano.
Yeah.
I mean, and that, like, do you call a human a spirit animal, or do you call it your?
Your spirit
animal.
human?
I mean,
I
this
think
is
he would
Jerry
call
Lee Lewis.
himself
He's
a
kind
spirit
of an animal.
Okay.
Yeah.
The killer's a creature.
The killer. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the killer.
Yeah.
Not bad.
What else
But
you
are
got?
you going to cover that?
Huh?
Are you going to, at the Jerry Lee Lewis pub, are you guys going to cover it?
Oh, that's a good idea.
We've been talking about doing
Yeah.
Great Balls of Fire for a while, just for fun.
Yeah,
because we
yeah.
love Jerry Lee Lewis, and we just thought it was interesting that we're playing at Jerry Lee's pub for this upcoming
Right.
show.
Then do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
It's not spelled
Please.
the same though.
I would do it.
Spelled differently.
Do it.
Drums on that are probably pretty easy. 50s swing beat, cake.
You really don't have to do too much.
I'm already happy about thinking about playing that song. All the
Nice.
piano slides.
Then do it. Go for it. I believe in you.
I do lots of piano slides when I play Misfit stuff. Tasteful ones.
So
In
it's
the right
not cheesy
places.
or anything. It sounds fantastic.
No, they're all piano slides. Every song, piano slides. If guitars can have solos in every song, then maybe I can have a piano slide.
You could
Guitar
never have
scrapes.
too many pianos.
Those are called
You
tasteful.
can
then.
have plenty of too many piano slides. All right, I'm done now.
Well, I will revert that. Forget I even said that.
You're like, damn
Sorry, Tangent City there.
It's
But
all
if you do it with your foot, you can do as many as you want.
True. Jerry
So,
Lee did play with his
thrown
feet
an elbow.
sometimes.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Face.
Elbows.
Light it on
Fake.
fire.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently cigars at Sun Studio because the piano there had a giant cigar burn. They let me play it. I was so happy.
That's awesome.
When we went to visit, we took the tour of Sun Studio in Memphis.
That was
and,
so worth it.
What is it
Oh,
like?
yeah,
It's like
it's
$8.
amazing.
It's worth every penny, but
Yeah,
they
go
take
there.
you where like Elvis and Johnny Cash actually recorded. You stand where Elvis stood to record some of his like hit tracks.
Yeah,
you can
it's
feel the
magic.
energy in the
It
room.
is,
It's really
it really
it's
is.
fucking the room talks. It's really weird.
Yeah, but the giant cigar burn on the old Wurlitzer they had there, and the tour guide was like, "Oh yeah, last time Jerry Lee Lewis was here, he got mad about something and he burned the cigar out on the piano keys." So
See, and you don't really hear
Yeah.
too many bands come on the show and be like, "Oh man, we went to this place and we're looking at fucking Johnny Cash and all this other shit, burn marks from Jerry." You don't hear that shit on this show.
well,
you
today
guys
you
come
do.
over and I'm just like, yeah,
I'm jealous.
yeah.
Cool.
What else you got, Derek?
Yeah, pubic hair of chin.
You just did tour news. What you got? Come on, boy.
I got random news.
All right, what's your random news?
One of my bands that I listen to, a band called Halo Bullets from the Netherlands. After 11 years, they decided to part ways and
Is
not.
this why you didn't want to say anything? 'Cause you're
No,
gonna cry.
no.
I got tissues.
No, I'm
for
just
you.
having too much fun tonight, so I didn't feel like doing a segment.
Derek,
because I'm here.
what else you got? Random news.
Well, I didn't continue, but yeah, after 11 years, Halo Bullets is breaking up. I got to see them once, and it was fun. So, and then Mastodon's Brett Hines is going to be reappearing on Game of Thrones. No date announced, but yeah, it's his second time since first time he was on in 2015. And then Morgan, Howard Jones has a new band with Peter Witchers, the former guitar player of Soilwork.
So, what happened to Devil You Know?
Still together. Now he has another band.
I was gonna ask that same question.
I don't understand. You leave Killswitch because you don't want to tour because you got diabetes. Now you're in Devil You Know. And guess what? Now you start another band.
Yeah.
You're such a liar.
So it looks like they're working on an album. It's not going to be just like a one-time deal. So we'll see what happens.
That'll be interesting to hear.
Yeah.
So you brought a band tonight, as usual, and you said it was different to me at home than what you usually
Yeah.
bring. What did you bring tonight?
Well, it's a band called Speedwolf.
Okay. Explain who Speedwolf is.
It's a band from Denver, Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, you chose an American band this week. That's surprising.
They kind of play like Motorhead kind of style stuff.
Okay.
It's like the speed metal, heavy metal, kind of like punk kind of stuff.
Cool.
And the song's called Denver. Why can't I talk?
Say it again.
Denver 666.
Denver 666. Okay, here we go. Here's Derek's pick called Speedwolf.
Yes. The singer actually wears like a wolf skin.
Okay. Bizarre,
live.
but that's what you listen to, so here we go.
And
Here's Speedwolf.
Hi, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Ian.
I'm Derek.
And we are the Most of Me.
Stay tuned for our new EP, Quantum, and you are listening to
The Metal Experience.
Okay. That's a whole weird thing to say, but that was my pick of the week. It was Speedwolf with Denver 666. Yeah. Why did I keep messing it up? It's Speedwolf with Denver 666 off the album Ride with the Devil. But enough about me. Back to talking with Walk Among Us.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Us.
So, let's talk a little bit about your upcoming shows. Right now, you we talked briefly about this before we went into Derek's stuff, but you have a show coming up April 6th at Reggie's, which is in Chicago, with this badass flyer. What else do you have right now besides that in LaffyCon? Anything?
This LaffyCon.
LaffyCon. Sorry, I keep thinking of Laffy Taffies.
It's like
It
Lafayette.
looks like it.
Yeah,
it does.
it's
What
It's like
confusing.
Lafayette.
But what exactly is LaffyCon?
Okay, that's a perfect question, actually.
Take it away, Nate.
So, LaffyCon is this is their third annual Lafayette comic convention. It's a smaller scale.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really have like big name celebrity guests. It's more of a local thing, but every year they've tripled their door number and just become more successful and successful and successful. And they went from a 1 day, I think they did like 1 day for 4 hours the first year, to now it's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. It's like the busiest weekend of my life because it's, like I said, we're hosting LaffyCon. Journey into Comics, my podcast, is hosting that event. Walk Among Us is playing the after party. Host the event the next day. Plus, it's for you wrestling nerds, WrestleMania, and the Walking Dead finale.
Wow.
All on that weekend.
And what weekend is that?
April 1st, April 2nd.
Okay, so
Coming
next
up here
weekend.
very shortly.
Nice.
Yeah, soon.
And then anything else after that you guys have booked?
We have a couple shows that are not yet announceable, I guess you'd say. But we have a couple show dates in April that we're about to announce. We have a July show that now the July show's a little bit out, but I can say a couple things. We're definitely playing the Mel in Indianapolis again. We're playing with Children of October, and I don't know what liberty I'm to say this, but we're trying to also get the Jasons to play that show. And if you guys don't know the Jasons, they all dress up like different versions of Jason Voorhees.
Oh, sweet.
And
I've
yeah,
heard
they're-
of First Jason where it
Ari
was-
Lehman.
Yes.
Yeah. I met
I
him.
didn't
He's a
know.
weird dude.
I bet.
Yeah. But no, this July 15th show, we have it. We're just waiting to get the third and final band announced, and then we're going to announce the show.
Nice.
But we just kind of, being that I do the booking and that Rob's schedule only goes so far in advance, and Rob and Veronica both independently have kids, as the booker, I just kind of book about a month and a half out and just kind of keep rolling on that calendar. So I'll start booking, the 1st of May, probably next week, and try to get some of those shows or appearances or whatever locked in place.
Except Halloween.
Except for Halloween, which we do. I guess we can talk about that show. We have our Halloween show already set in stone. We're playing Underground Lounge October 27th. We're playing with our friends the Foxkills and Delta Queen, and one yet-to-be-announced band. We're trying to solidify, again, the final piece of that puzzle.
Nice.
But yeah, we just did the show at Underground Lounge, and they wanted us back immediately.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
So I was really grateful for that, and I think the band was too. But that's kind of like what we got going on now, and it's good. You can always, check out our different social medias. Everything is pretty much at Walk Among Us Band, whether it's Facebook, Instagram. Our Twitter is also Walk Among Us Band, right?
I think so. We
I'm
don't
pretty
use
sure
it as
everything
much.
is Walk Among Us Band. If you're looking for the only punk rock piano tribute to the Misfits, just search Walk Among Us and then band, and we'll come up 10 times out of 10. Or just search Walk Among Us piano.
Now, what is your favorite so far song that you guys have learned that you like to play?
I feel like we get asked this a lot, and every time it's different answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like with the Misfits, you can just pick and choose based on your mood, and I don't know. There's a lot of songs that we play that we love playing over and over, and I never get sick of playing anything that we do.
I know for personally, for my like performance standpoint, Astro Zombies is my favorite drum track. It's just so groovy. Funnily enough, the only time you saw us, I fucked up the intro to Astro Zombies. You might not have noticed it, but I did. And like ever since that one time, I've been like, I'm gonna make these drums even fucking cooler, and like, they're my favorite now.
Nice. I don't know. I like. What do I like? Horror Hotel. I love playing that one. I love playing Vampira. I love playing the groovier tracks. London Dungeon. I love playing that one.
Yeah, we put a video of Sarah doing that one up on our Facebook and on Instagram, and it's been making the rounds and getting some views, which has been fun. Yeah. And it was just like a piano solo version, not the full band, and it's a really cool solo track.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do that where I'll like instead, because it's different the way that I play it with the band versus the way I play it if I interpret it as a piano solo, because I'll add the melody in there and stuff. So sometimes I'll do like improvs and stuff like that. Yeah, that was one of them. But yeah, I like playing that one. And I don't know what else. Gosh, Rob, your turn. You say some songs now.
Yeah, I mean, I like playing Saturday Night.
Hey,
that's
a good one.
Wow, we haven't done that one in a long time.
I like everyone's just because we all gel so well on that one. I don't know, and like you said, it just depends. It's cool, the groovier songs, but then I like the fast ones too. So it's like I don't know. I turned into Martian's really cool because we got cool harmonies on it.
Yeah,
and Astro Zombies.
Yeah,
I dig the songs where we could do some harmonies and some more vocal stuff.
We've been using that one as like our sound check song on stage, and
because we all sing.
Yeah, and it's only like a minute and a half long, so it makes for a good sound check song.
True.
Nice. So I pulled up here online, and I'm hoping that my internet doesn't go down on me. Trivia. But I got 15 questions here. The average score for this quiz is 10 out of 15, so the difficulty is average. But I'm just wondering if you know your Misfits. So, are you ready to answer 15 questions having to do with the Misfits?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go, and I'll give you options. So, number 1, what is the name of the record label created by the Misfits? Is it Caroline Records, Evil Live Music, Nothing Records, or Plain 9 Records?
I believe it's Plan 9 Records.
Plan 9 Records.
Is that your final answer? Plain 9. Okay.
Well, now I'm all nervous.
So you won't know until
I'm pretty sure it's Plan. I'm pretty sure it's Plan 9.
Plan 9.
Yeah.
All right. The album that was Legacy of Brutality in the U.S. is known as what in the U.K.? Die Die My Darling, Evil Wish, Earth AD, or Static Age?
I think it's Die Die.
Die Die My Darling.
Yeah,
I think it's Die Die My Darling.
All right.
With that legendary Die Die image.
Yeah, I got that.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. With the glass.
All right, so the next question. The Misfits single Bullet is based on the Steve McQueen film of the same name. True or false?
False. It's about John F. Kennedy's assassination.
Right.
Yeah.
They actually have that as a T-shirt.
Complete the song title. Theme for a what?
Jackal.
All right. After leaving the Misfits, Glenn Danzig formed what band?
Sam Hain.
Sam Hain.
Okay.
You make Danzig
On the
speak
liner
Spanish.
notes for the Coffin Box set, it is related that during their formative years, the Misfits had a run-in and beat up in a fight what glam Hollywood rock group?
Hold on. What was that again?
Okay. On the liner notes for the Coffin Box set, it is related that during their formative years, the Misfits had a run-in and beat up in a fight what glam rock Hollywood group? Hint, they must have needed Dr. Feelgood.
I would say they scared the shit out of Vince Neil. I know
Yeah,
that.
Motley Crue, yeah.
All right. The Misfits mascot is known as the Crimson Ghost. True or false?
True.
Yeah.
I think that's false.
One of the members of the band Metallica has a tattoo dedicated to the Misfits on his arm. Who is it?
It was Cliff Burton.
Yep.
Not is.
The album Walk
R.I.P.
Among Us contains a homage to a favorite horror icon. Who is it?
It's pronounced homage.
Whatever.
Wait, the album Walk Among Us, you said,
Yes.
contains a...
Homage to a favorite horror icon. Who is it? Vampira?
Vampira, yeah.
Freddy Krueger, Vampirella, or The Fly?
Oh,
Vampira.
Vampira?
Yeah.
Jerry only plays the bass guitar. True or false?
True.
Kinda. We're still curious if maybe they shut him off some of those years.
I was just wondering the same thing. Okay, we'll say true for now. What two members of the Misfits are related? Robo and Jerry, Jerry and Doyle, Glenn or Doyle, or Erie, Vaughn and Robo?
Doyle and Jerry.
Doyle and Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be super stupid for a moment here and tell you that I just figured that out last night.
Really?
Oh, shit. Okay. What song opens with the lyrics, "They called us walking corpses, unholy living dead. They had to lock us up"?
I just said it. Yeah, London Dungeon.
Throws in the British hell.
I love doing that one. That's
So
super
good.
groovy.
That's probably one of my favorite
London
Misfits.
I love
Dungeon.
that.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites, too.
All right, here we go. The song "She" is about a bank robbing heiress. Who was she? Patty Hearst, Dana Plato, Paris Hilton, or Amy Irving?
That one, I don't know.
I actually don't know that one, but I'm going to go with the second one.
Wait, what's
I think it was the first one.
I think it was the first one,
first
Patty
one?
Hearst, right?
Yeah, I think it was the first
Is it
one.
Patty
I
Hearst?
think. That's
Okay, let's go
Who
with
robbed
that.
me and Rob
banks?
say that. Yeah.
So we're going with Dana or Patty?
Patty.
Patty? Okay. The Misfits' trademark hairstyle sported by some members is known as the devil lock. True or false?
I hope it's true.
And the final question, what year was the Misfits formed? 1975, 77, 80, or 73?
April 18th, 1977.
All right, we're submitting answers. So here we go. Hopefully this loads.
Cross your fingers.
I want to know the band that comes on and gets all those questions wrong. You know?
Well, this is the only time we're going to do this.
Like,
yeah, right.
like
Yeah.
I don't mean just with the Misfits, but I mean like a tribute band in general. It would be hilarious
Yes,
to be
yeah.
like, I don't fucking know.
We got to do this next week now,
Yeah.
just to fuck with them.
Yeah, right.
Whoever they are.
You're like, I don't know if you know the Misfits, but we're going to have
Yeah, Misfits trivia. Well, give it a second. It's loading. Hopefully it will
I thought she was
crash.
going to go, it's official. You're nerds.
Yeah.
You are loser.
Well, you are because you guys got 100%. That's fucking awesome.
Holy shit.
You know your questions.
We win.
There you go.
You know your Misfits.
100% Misfits. There you go.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
We did it, guys. We've achieved something.
Perfect.
We have a lot of time on our hands.
Yeah.
Interesting liner note. I don't know if you guys know this, but May 12th of last year, Jerry and Glenn and Doyle announced the original Misfits reuniting for Riot Fest. A year later, May 12th, Danzig is releasing his new album.
Yeah, is that not
Yeah,
weird?
how do you feel about that?
I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, so-
I don't really listen to so much of Danzig's solo stuff. And I don't know if it's because it's like darker than what the Misfits did. And I don't hate dark music. I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan, but I don't
It's yeah.
I don't like Danzig stuff as much as I liked Misfits. You know, it's just
It has a different vibe to
It
it.
does.
A heavy
Oh,
metal
yeah.
It does.
Vibe. Like
Different
a
kinda
classic
dark.
rock heavy metal vibe.
yeah.
Subject matter, too.
Yeah, a little
Danzig
bit.
got a little more personal when he started writing for himself, obviously.
Yeah.
But then, the Misfits were all based off of horror movies
Right.
or,
Right, the camp was still there.
being beat,
Yeah, campiness.
beaten and thrown into a London prison jail dungeon
Right,
cell.
right.
But then you still got to talk about the other bands. It's like Doyle has Doyle. He had Gorgeous
Right.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And now he's got Doyle. I'm wearing
Jerry
my
had
Doyle
Osaka
shirt.
Pop Star and
Yeah.
the American Legends of Punk. I saw them.
Christ the Conqueror.
Christ the Conqueror. I can't believe you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that band.
Did you guys
Yeah.
get to
Only had
see
an
the
EP.
original Misfits lineup at Riot Fest?
They
Yeah,
did.
we
They
did.
were
Three
talking
of
about that.
the
Yeah.
four.
Oh.
Rob wasn't able to go, but Nate
Oh,
and Sarah and I
Rob.
were able to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to see Tiger Army and Bad Religion like 3 or 4 rows from the stage.
I'm
and
done with mosh pits now.
And then
I'm too old now.
Deftones played.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the worst crowd I've ever been a
Yes.
part of. People were stealing people's phones and wallets and throwing them into other parts of the crowd, just like during the show. And we're like, had enough. We're going to just kind of step back here. And we went back to the back.
I would just start decking people if they did that
They
with my
were
stuff.
like, it was crazy. And then, like, when the Misfits started, we left. I wanted to stay, like, we stayed there for, like, 5 hours in the sun. Like, I need to see Tiny Danzig up close. I need this. I love this man. I want to see him. But we couldn't do it. Couldn't take that Deftones pit after staying 4 hours in the sun through 3 bands and just being squashed in like sardines.
Yeah, it was rough.
I made the mistake of turning around and seeing the 15,000 people behind me, and we were in, like, row 5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm done now. I had to leave. So we leave, and they start playing Death Comes Ripping, and I'm like, yes, finally, you know. They finished that, and then, like, the whole next, like, 3 songs, there was a horde coming from the pit area.
People
of
just
sweaty,
giving up. They were like, we almost died in there. You know?
I've never seen anything like that. I mean, people were just, it was like the sea. You just thought a bomb went off or something. And then, like, next day I was reading about the pit.
They were
and
Astro zombies.
People were saying it was, like, the craziest pit they've ever been in their whole life. Like, people that are, like, regular, you know,
yeah,
pit
and I'm
goers.
only like
and
5'2", so I can't handle that.
Yeah,
anymore.
they're like, oh, it's crazier than
Squashed.
Slayer, it's crazier than this and that. Yeah.
Well,
I'm glad I went
the
back and was an adult
Deftones.
about it then.
Like, the
They
funny
were off.
They were not
the
good.
Deftones they were the Deftones, but
I don't
like the
really
crowd
like
was just
them.
horrible. They were horrible people
The
around
funny
us.
thing about
Like,
that Misfits show is they had like 2 ghost members behind the stage.
They sure
Yeah,
did. We saw them. Yeah, yeah.
AC Slade,
Yep.
who used to be
Dope and
in Murder Dolls, yeah.
and
Yep.
Static X.
Yeah.
And then did they have somebody who was like doing like keys or something in the
Yeah, I
back?
think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, something.
And that was wild to see that Chicago show because the Denver show they cut short. They ran out of time and they said we can't play anymore. We were going to play Attitude. Sorry, no luck. Danzig's like, fuck you. This might be the last time you ever see the Misfits. We're playing fucking Attitude, and they finished the set like 10 minutes after they were supposed to. It was awesome. So it was really cool to like get to witness that. You know.
I wish I went.
We were really excited to do it, and we thought it was interesting timing with our band because we just played our first show like a few weeks before the Misfits reunited, and we had been planning that for like a year, you know, and it was just like serendipity that they got together right as we're
So weird.
getting
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, that was super
It was
weird.
cool timing.
Yeah.
So was it everything that you had hoped when you had seen them? Did they play everything that you wanted to hear?
The only thing they didn't
No.
play was Children in Heat.
They didn't play Children in Heat, which bummed me out.
Should have played that.
That's one of my
For
favorites.
Chicago, you would think that would be a good one.
Yeah.
Of course,
They
there are
say
some
Chicago in it.
And there are some other B-sides. Like, I would have loved to hear Devil's Whorehouse. But then I read an interview. I think Jerry was in Rolling Stone, and he and Glenn, like, that was one of their first arguments back in playing music together was he didn't want to play Devil's Whorehouse because it requires him to look down and actually play the bass the whole song.
Oh
and
my
he
God.
wanted to look at the crowd. And so they cut it from the set.
Why don't you learn to not look at your bass?
Correct.
I don't look at
That's
my piano.
that's like an
Well, sometimes
excuse
I
as
do.
a musician.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
stupid.
He's in the Misfits.
Yeah.
40 years. Think about that.
Yeah. No wonder why he never moves when he plays. I can't move and play. I can't do it.
You can't talk and
Well,
chew
he
gum
do-
at the same time.
He actually kind of has that Elvis thing where he almost just kind of like...
He does. He
Yeah,
does. I've
yeah.
noticed that. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. He almost has like a Kiss presence too. Like his
Yes.
stuff that he wears reminds me of like the old school Kiss, like the platform
Yeah,
shoes. He looks like he wears a cape. He's
pleather.
got
Bleh.
it's weird. It's
Oh.
like watching an older
Gene Simmons.
bad. Well, I mean Gene Simmons is old now too, but I mean it's like. I
Kiss
don't
was
know.
my first concert. OG
Was it?
lineup with the makeup. Yeah, 2000. And
Badass,
I was
dude.
13 and I saw Gene Simmons do 10,000 Years from the Rafters and I was like, fuck, I need to play music for the rest of my life. And that was like the start of it, you know? It's all downhill from there.
That's awesome. Rob, what was your first concert? I feel like we haven't heard a lot from you.
Van Halen.
What? Sammy Hagar years?
Yeah.
There you go.
It was awful.
What?
Really?
Why was it awful?
I went with my brother and my dad, and I liked David Lee Roth, Van Halen, when I was little. And, yeah, playing the Van Hagar was, like, really wussy sounding to me.
Okay.
And Skid Row opened for him, too. I remember that. That was pretty cool.
With Sebastian Bach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was when they didn't hate each other.
Skid Row opened for Kiss when I saw Kiss.
Wow.
Not Sebastian Bach. Swear.
That's
yeah, not
crazy.
Sebastian Bach. I didn't. That's we
Crazy
just learned that right now.
coincidence.
Youth gone wild.
See, you still don't know everything about your best friends.
No.
No, I learn little by little.
My next one was No Effects. It was weird.
That's a total 180. Well, you guys actually brought a song that you just finished recording to debut on our show. And I was told that we will have it exclusively for a week on our website until you will release it through your page, which is amazing. So for those that are hearing this, you have a week before everybody else gets to hear it in the world.
Lucky bastards.
Online. So tell us, while this lame music plays in the background, before we play the awesome song that we're about to hear, what song that you brought with us? With you.
Sorry, I'm distracted.
It's okay.
I have ADD, like, legit. So
it's
like,
okay.
I
think we all do in this generation.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. What am I talking about? Oh, our
The
next
song you brought.
Oh, the song we brought. Hello. It is.
Hi.
Hi. Return of the Fly. We decided we needed to record that one because it's groovy and it has a lot of bass stuff and things happening. And yeah, I don't know what to say about it, really. We recorded it last week.
Damn.
Yeah.
So it's fresh.
It's super fresh. We just finished. Robbie just
Finishing
finished
touches
mixing
yesterday
it.
morning, actually.
Yeah, yesterday morning. So, yeah, this is.
Thanks for rushing it, Rob.
Fresh.
I do what I can. I woke up early.
Sorry to cut in on your sleep, Rob.
By early, he means 12:30 in the afternoon.
Sorry to cut in on your sleep.
That's not true.
That sounds like a stoner
I
problem.
aspire to be you when I grow up.
Well. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. What do you guys want to say about it?
Just crank it. It's awesome. It's different. It's definitely a bassier song, and it has, in my opinion, a totally different feel than our horror business cut.
It's evolving.
It is evolving, but I think this song's really cool because it's like it has like a very solid line of sound until you reach that third verse of the song, and then it just builds to this like really epic sound. I think.
I feel like every time we record, everything starts to evolve in a different way. You know, like from like you said, our horror business one. This one has a different vibe, but it's still like, you know, it has the same like similar sound to it, but. I've been trying to do things differently with recording and how my voice sounds and trying to make it sound less girly and more, you know...
Aggressive?
More aggressive and adding more growling into it and adding more roughness to my voice, which as an opera singer I was trained to not do that. So as we record more songs, I'm changing the way that I'm singing it and presenting it in hopefully a more Danzig-y kind of way. Tiny Danzig. This is me channeling my inner Tiny Danzig.
And Veronica is tiny. She is very short.
She is.
Yes.
I think we're just always trying to make it better and always progressing.
Yeah.
We're always never. I don't think we're ever completely satisfied. We're just always trying to move it, make it better to the next one.
Yeah.
So hopefully you like it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
here we go.
Play this goddamn thing.
The debut song, the freshly recorded Return of the Fly. Here we go.
Return of the fly, return of the fly, with Vincent Price, yeah, return of the fly, and into love, Francois, return of the fly, you get it back, you've been asking me, yeah, you get it back, and into love, Return of the fly with Vincent Price. You get it back, yeah. Return of the fly with Vincent Price. You get it back, yeah. Return of the
Hey, this is Pete.
Tanner?
Zach.
And we're Bloodletter, and you're listening to The Metal Experience.
spirit will rise, for of this sacred
Oh my God. What a cover that was. We actually listened to that twice in our headphones.
Because I wanted to.
Because we all wanted to,
Because that made
Yeah.
our tiny nipples go to France.
Who said mine were tiny? I'm kidding.
Shit.
Whoa. Hey.
Fucking massive areola.
So that was Walk Among Us.
Kind of getting weird.
With their debut recording of Return of the Fly, which we are having exclusively as of March 21st for a week on our website until March 28th, just on our website and our show until they release it on their Bandcamp and Facebook, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, we'll do that March 29th on Walk Among Us Wednesday.
Amazing. Walk Among Us Wednesday.
That's what we have on our Instagram
That's
from
pretty
time to
cool.
time.
Wednesday?
That's pretty
Waka
awesome.
Waka.
Waka Waka. That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, damn millennials with their damn hashtags.
Hashtoogs. Them hashtoogs.
Hashtoogs?
Is there a plan for you guys to make a whole cover album?
That would be so magical.
As you are...
Is it this magic moment?
Nate is a bobblehead over there.
Yeah, he's-
a bobblehead of excitement.
Yes,
Excitable.
we
It is
are
excitable.
absolutely in the process of putting that together, and it's early stages right now, but I think that once we get all the songs we absolutely want to do done, we'll be able to put together the compilation of songs we want to put together.
Nice.
The nice thing is we could probably get like 35 to 40 songs on a fucking
Yeah, 'cause
CD
they're
because
so
they're only like a
short.
minute and a half, so we can put a lot of content on there if we want. We might break it up and do like 2 or 3, you know, it just depends, I guess.
We're looking into licensing too before we get into doing a full cover album. Right now we're just like doing the singles and stuff like that, but
Makes sense.
I mean, well, because it's a lot of work, you know, and
Right.
you want to make sure you have all your
Ducks in a row.
yeah, whatever euphemism you want for that.
legalities and stuff.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I would absolutely love to do that. I would love to do that with eventually not just the Misfits. I mean, this is our Misfits setup right now, but I like a lot of different kinds of music. I like to put to piano. I'd love to do
Pink Floyd.
a bunch of. Well, that's.
That would be interesting.
Oh, I do play some songs. Like what were we doing? Wish You Were Here.
Wish You Were Here.
We
Comfortably
covered Wish
Numb,
You Were Here.
and something else. I don't
We
remember what.
did
Money?
David Bowie song. We did Space Oddity and Elton John. Just all kinds of
I've
stuff.
heard
Queen.
it. I'm not really at liberty to talk about it, but she's working on a Metallica song on piano.
Oh, I am.
That's pretty much done, and she's
It is
working
done.
with a drummer who is in a Metallica tribute act called
In Portland.
Motor Breath from Portland,
Yeah.
That's
Oregon.
pretty awesome.
They're nice guys up there, but I would love to do a Metallica also as a just a even if it was just an album form, not necessarily for playing out touring
Right.
purposes. Metallica was my first metal love, so.
Yeah. That project's not super secret. I do have the solo done. I love the idea of just as a side note, this is like side projects and stuff, but like of just having the solo piano with the drums. Like I don't know if you guys have ever seen like covers online that people do, stuff like that, but I love that. But nobody's really gotten Metallica dead right yet. Like I've seen a lot of pianists go for it because Metallica is orchestrated in such a way that is like easy to translate to the classical like structure, if you will, like Symphony of Metallica. If you guys had heard that
Yeah.
one come out. I mean that there was a reason that was able to happen. It's because their music was orchestrated as such that all the parts could fit easily to all the different sections of the orchestra, and voila, you have a lovely piece of music that makes sense to have on an orchestra. Yeah,
Me too. Minus
lot of-
Human, No Leaf Clover, both amazing songs.
Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff on there. Certainly something that hadn't been done before as far as metal and stuff, at least in that way.
And it was with the London Philharmonic, right?
Right, I believe so, yeah. Which, yeah, very prestigious orchestra, playing Metallica tunes, you know? Like the crossover, everything's crossing over now, like everything's kinda,
Hybrid moment.
Did you
Yeah.
did you read something on that? They were saying that season ticket holders to go see the London Philharmonic were walking out before that performance.
That doesn't surprise
Actually, I
me. A
think
lot of
I
people
did
are
know
super
that, yeah.
stuffy. But, I mean, you got to remember the classical music world, they've had riots over lots of things. I mean, all the way dating back, if you want to get... My favorite riot story about classical music is Stravinsky's Rite of Spring. It's a piece of music I think it was written in... Well, the premiere was like 1919, so we're talking like a long, long time ago. But people got so mad about that piece that they like threw stuff at the performers and ripped up the seats and like literally rioted because it was this ballet. It was a ballet and a symphony, The Rite of Spring, and like it was about the rite, R-I-T-E, about like devil worshiping, kind of, not necessarily straight up, but like adoration of the earth, and like there's people like there's virgin sacrifices and stuff and all this stuff, and you got 1919 they were doing a ballet about this, and it was very abstract. So yeah, they rioted over that. It's one of my favorite musical riot stories.
Brutal.
But yeah, it's
Super
brutal.
savage.
Yeah. Yeah, there's all kinds of murder and death and crazy stuff in opera too. I mean, opera's some of the weirdest stuff that's out there. Like,
yeah, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, it's dark, super dark. But I don't remember why I was talking about that. I went on another tangent. That happens sometimes.
Quite all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's very informative. Well,
Yeah.
it is that time. I have a unsigned band pick of the week for the Hey Look What I Found pick. Since Luco is not here, I have taken
Sadness.
liberty to do this segment tonight. So here we go.
Now it's time for
Hey man, look what I found!
Only on the Metal Experience.
All right, this week from Windsor, Canada, we have Love Razor. And because this is a more punk rock night, this is more of a rock and roll band, and it's meant to be, because in the pictures most bands wear, he is wearing a Misfits shirt. So, all the way from Canada, where a lot of bands have been submitting music recently, here is their song, First Class Bitch. Boom.
That's old news. Wears a dirty little halo and it's burning her bright. She's naughty by nature, lives on the night. Fatal attraction, all she knows. She's a dirty dancing diva and she lives for the show. Give her all your money, she'll treat you right. She's gotta keep it moving, baby. Keep that inside all night. She's the life of the show, and she's ready to go. She's a first class bitch, everyone knows. So, come and give me some more. She's gonna give it, let me give it, let her give it to me. I'm gonna give it, let her take it, let me give it, we'll see. She's the ticket, gonna rock it, gonna hit it for free. Don't stop tonight. Fatal attraction, all she knows. She's a dirty dancing diva and she lives for the show. Give her all your money, she'll treat you right. She's gotta keep it moving, baby, she can go all night, all night. She's the life of the show, and she's ready to go. She's a first class bitch, and everyone knows she's so hot. Come and give me some more. She got hot. She's the life of the show, and she's ready to go. She's a first class bitch, and everyone knows she's so hot. Give me some more. She's the life of the show, and she's ready to go. She's a first class bitch, and everyone knows she's so hot. Come and give me some more. She got hot. She's the life of the show, and she's ready to go. She's a first class bitch, and everyone knows she's so hot. Give me some more.
And now, back to the Metal Experience.
Did you say hookers and blow?
No, I said the Metal Experience.
That's not nearly as good.
Woo! All right, that was Love Razor. Hell yeah. That was First Class Bitch. They are from Windsor, Canada. Be sure to check them out. They've been in talks with us for quite a while now. And don't quote me on it. Well, you're going to quote me on it because I'm going to say this on air. But I'm pretty sure one of the guys that is in Love Razor now came out of a band that we did as an unsigned band pick a long fucking time ago called Falling with Glory. And I think this is the band that he started doing after they broke up, which is a total 180 of what Falling with Glory was. But he stayed in touch. So Love Razor, I finally found a spot to play your awesome fucking music. So check them out. They are up under our website now under the Hey Look What I Found picks. Sorry Luco wasn't here to hear that. But we are back with the awesome only punk rock piano tribute to the Misfits, Walk Among Us, wrapping up the show tonight in just a few minutes. But before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about your upcoming shows again for people to go out and see you. And where can everybody find you guys online and on the apps and all that fun stuff?
Okay, so you can go to, for as far as social media is concerned, and that's where you can obviously find where all of our shows are. We're very connected to our Instagram. Go to Instagram at Walk Among Us Band. You can do Facebook at Walk Among Us Band, Twitter at Walk Among Us Band, pretty much everywhere. WalkAmongUsBand at gmail.com if you want to book us or have questions and want to contact us. YouTube as well. Just search for Walk Among Us Piano or Walk Among Us Band. It'll come up. Our piano fiend is pretty unmistakable. You know it. You'll know it's us when you find it. But we have a show coming up April 1st, LaFiCon. It's the after party with Lurking Corpses and Night of the Round. That's going to be awesome. That's in Lafayette at Jerry's Pub. If you have a LaFiCon bracelet, it's only $3 to get in the door. It's $5 if you don't. So if you went to LaFiCon, you get to go to the after party for cheaper, which is cool. We also have a show April 6th at Reggie's with Outrageous and Bedside Alibi and Stern Approval and Zahar. And then we have some other shows that are not officially announced or that we're still working on, but you guys will be getting updates fairly soon.
Nice.
You know, as they come to us and we can announce them, we usually are pretty within minutes, you know, letting everybody else know. I usually work on flyers like weeks in advance and have them all prepped, and then when we have all the information, they go to the world.
Jesus brings it to the world.
Yeah, and on our YouTube, you can see the entirety of our show that we did at the Mel in Indianapolis, Punk Rock Night. It was awesome. They had us for a double encore, which was totally...
Whoa.
It was weird. We played one song, and we thought, oh, we're done. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm ready to drive 2 hours home. And they were like, no, one more after the one more. So we played Children in Heat and called it a night. It was awesome. It was great. But yeah, on our Instagram, also, you will see Sarah doing some of her piano solos, as well as Sarah and Veronica doing piano vocal renditions of the Misfits songs. But that's pretty much where you can find us, and yeah.
And our band camp.
Oh, shit, yeah. WalkAmongUs.bandcamp.com is
We're
where you
also-
can download Horror Business, which you guys heard on the
Yes.
show tonight, for free.
It's awesome.
And you will, in a week and change time, be able to get Return of the Fly, but you get to hear it here first on the Metal Experience. Hey, thank you guys for
Yeah,
having us, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
You
It was
guys, this is a kind of pivotal moment in our show, just because we've never had a tribute band on. Not that we've never wanted one on. I think it was more geared, like the thought was, well, they're playing somebody else's material. How do we interview them? You know, it's not original music. How do we play that? But it's different when like your renditions are, you've made it your own, whereas like the bands like Freak on a Leash or you know, they're awesome. They're cool to see, but you guys are doing something else. Even though it isn't your material, you've made it your material. And that's what I really liked. And
Cool.
when we walked away from seeing you guys out in Indiana, like Luco's a huge Misfits guy, and he keeps texting me of how bummed he is that he isn't here.
I'm bummed that he's not here, too, honestly. Yeah. I remember when we were at that show, he wore his Misfits hoodie on stage.
He always wears that, though.
Oh, that's awesome.
He always wears that.
That's awesome.
And he had he has two of them, because one of them we thought he lost, so I bought him another one. So now that's his backup in case he loses it, but he never washes it. Which is gross. It doesn't. it doesn't smell as bad as you would think, but he
But it's
wears
so
it
cool.
like everywhere, and that's his thing. Like that is his hoodie. He will never go anywhere with it if it's not. You know, it's everywhere.
Nothing wrong
Yeah,
with that.
but that's like one of the key bands that he listens to, and he was
Religiously.
super bummed. And his band, unfortunately, was playing a show tonight at Star Bar with the Browning, and I get opportunities to be exposed and everything, all cool and everything. But his band shouldn't have booked it on a Tuesday. I'm telling you. I specifically told them no. But whatever. He definitely wishes that he was here. He
Now,
keeps texting me it.
That's the forms they take, right?
Yes, the forms they take.
Now, you know what's awesome about that? I would say probably 70% of the places we've played, we see the forms they take sticker, because I'm guessing that you guys have played there. I saw one at Underground Lounge, I think. I'm pretty sure there was like one right off the stage. And I saw one at, I believe,
all the venues
Martyrs,
that they played. Yeah.
Elbow Room.
Elbow Room. Yeah, they played at Elbow Room before.
I'm trying to recall where else I saw
That's
one.
old school street team tagging right
Yeah.
there. That's all we do. There's Metal
Yeah.
Experience stickers two places. If
Oh,
you
yeah.
look
You know
closely.
what?
They're
Metal
everywhere.
Experience sticker. There was one at Punk Rock Night Indie. I have a picture on my phone of it.
Punk Rock Night Indie.
Uh-huh.
Where?
At the Mel. That's where we played.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't from me because I've never been to that venue, so that's even cooler.
I have picture
Now I need
evidence.
that picture because
Yeah.
I can tell you where I've tagged.
Yeah.
But the fact that somebody else tagged us someplace that I haven't been, now that's fucking awesome.
I tagged the men's room downstairs.
Now, Joe,
With a
you'll know
sticker
it's
or your
us.
pee?
Yes.
He pisses the Metal Experience. He spells it out every time he goes in there. What are you talking about?
Dude, I got a problem. What's wrong? I peed on a corpse.
I'm sure it didn't mind.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, just going into a few announcements to wrap the night up, as I usually do. We have some awesome bands coming up once again on the future episodes of the Metal Experience. So let me just give you the next couple of weeks here that are up on our website as well, themetalexperience.com. We have next week Endostalgia coming up with their EP March 28th. That's going to be awesome. We have April 4th coming out for their first time, Absalom. They're driving all the way from Rockford, so come on out and hang out with us. And then Sons of Ra will be on with us April 11th. That's going to be amazing. They're an awesome instrumental group right now. They just released Anthropology back in December, and I know that they're looking for a vocalist. They have some requirements, so go on their Facebook page for details, but they're going to be a really cool group to have out here. And then happening on April 18th, we have Pleading with Iris coming back on with us. It's been a while since they've been on, so we've got a lot of catching up to do with them. I did a stupid Facebook video on Sunday when I was bored at Luco's hockey game. And for those that didn't catch it, you know, there was some updates as to the shows that we're going to be in attendance of coming up, as well as, you know, some announcements. So be sure to pick up Our Friends and Victims. Just released a CD on Friday called Volume 2, Inside the Mind. And then our friends in Prison City Brigade released their album War on Boredom. And we have 2 sponsored shows coming up where we're going to be passing stuff out at. So the first is going to be at Livewire Lounge happening on April 21st. It's going to be with Everything Must Die in Air Raid. And then coming up on April 22nd is the huge Midwest Spring Fest, which is happening out at Penny Road Pub. And we have the upstairs stage this time. It's our first ever up there. So we will be up there with a bunch of bands on our stage. I think just a couple to name is Consume the Divide and A Dying Ultimatum. So you guys can definitely check that out. I know that Tony Fackley just got a few tickets left for him to sell, and once he's out of those, just the bands have tickets. So be sure to check out Midwest Music Supports Springfest. There are about 19 bands or 15 bands playing all day, and it starts at 3 p.m. I think it's all ages until a certain point. But it's an awesome venue, great food, great bands playing. It's always a good time. We literally pass stuff out. So there's a whole table. We have CDs, stickers, shirts that Lugo and I have collected that don't fit us anymore or that we've gotten from bands that want us to give out. So come visit us. We'll be passing all that stuff out. And if you have things to donate, you can always get a hold of us on our Facebook page or email, themetalexperience@yahoo, or our personal pages, and we can send you where you can send that stuff if you want to donate stuff for us to pass out to fans that attend. Besides that, just a couple other quick announcements. Our friends in Funeral Nation, they're going to be on in August, but they have some tour dates. They are playing some of the East Coast coming up, starting on Thursday. March 23rd, Buffalo, New York. That's a long drive, but that's going to be awesome for them. Friday, March 24th, they're going to be in Boston. Saturday, March 25th, they're going to be in Carrolltown, Maryland. And then Sunday, March 28th, they're in Brooklyn, New York. And they're going to be gone for the weekend. So check out Funeral Nation on the East Coast. Our friends in A Dying Ultimatum are working on their upcoming new album. Be sure to hit up their GoFundMe to help support their goal. Oh, they did reach their goal. My bad. But pre-orders are out for the new album. So hit up A Dying Ultimatum. Be sure to support them. They're going to be back on our show June 13th. And they're awesome. And then U.S. Air Guitar. I've always wanted to see this. I have the documentary DVD, which is amazing and very entertaining. They're holding a competition again this year. And if you want to drive out to South Dakota in May, you can enter the competition. And the 3 finishers of each semifinal go to the national finals. And then the winner of the national finals will go to the U.S. Air Guitar Championship. And then it'll go into the championships that are held in Finland each August. So that is awesome. But there is a enter to compete if you guys want to do it. This year, May 11th, it's going to be in Aurora at the Two Brothers Roundhouse. Two Brothers Roundhouse. And it's the Wayne's World 25th Anniversary Festival that weekend, too, in Aurora. So be sure, May 11th, to make your way out to the U.S. Guitar qualifiers show.
If you build it,
they will come. Exactly. And Warped Tour gets announced tomorrow. Warped Tour with the cheaper tickets until they start going up in prices, getting released tomorrow. And Warped Tour also holds a competition every year for bands to play main stage. So be sure to check out in your areas what bands have entered the contest. It's a little different each year as to how you vote for each band. This year it's you just register for the website, you share a song by the band's profile on your Facebook and everything, and give them a like and follow them. So the Most of Me has so far entered the competition, as well as Prison City Brigade. And we'll keep you posted on who else has entered that, but be sure to cast your vote for your favorite local for that opportunity for a ton of exposure. Warped Tour is a huge thing, and this year you're talking bands of so far have been released officially. CKY, Hatebreed, Guar, and Beartooth. Municipal Waste is one of those other bands that are
sick of it all.
What happened to Warped Tour in a good way? Wow, they went like heavy again.
Bad Religion.
It really depends. I mean, you have a lot of bands that have released albums within the past year. But I think it's Bad Religion is playing this year too, right? Yeah. If I'm right, they were rumored. I think it's just they see what's drawing, and a lot of it is how a band promotes themselves and reputation.
The last Warped Tour I went to had Coheed and Killswitch. I met Killswitch that year.
2007, and I did too, and it was amazing. Yes. And I told Adam D, oh man, what did I say to him? I don't remember, but he made his goofy face, and I almost fainted because I'm so in love with him.
I told them that their music like saved my life because it like changed my perspective on who I was when I was like an angsty teen. And Howard Jones is like, "Holy shit, you put out your house fire with our CDs," and I like lost it. I thought that shit was so funny.
Oh my god, they are one of the best bands to see. I love Killswitch Engage with a religious.
CM Punk introduced them that night at that.
I remember
Warped Tour. That was
weird.
before Punk was like megastar status.
Mm-hmm.
He was just
then
signed
he just
to
does
WWE.
some bizarre things.
No, he does MMA.
Yeah,
not for long.
No,
he'll go back to it.
That guy needs to retire. He's weird. So that's all I got for right now. Next week, come back. Fits' Spare Keys in Elmhurst, and Nostalgia will be on with us. We will be probably in the back room for all I know. This was supposed to be jazz night, and we're upstairs. And then, another quick announcement. April 15th, if you like hair metal, we are going to be at Joe's Live in Rosemont because Frankie Harcutt, who used to drum for the Bloodline, will be playing with the Hair Band Night, which is an all 80s hair metal cover band.
Awesome.
And they're going to be rocking it. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be pretty fun. April 15th, Joe's at Rosemont. It's only $10. Why not? Why not listen to some pretty awesome hair metal?
Why not?
Just scream your lungs out. And then
Bingo.
don't forget Walk Among Us at Reggie's coming up April 6th, which is next Thursday, which is amazing. And I love this fucking flyer, dude. Like, please tell me you made a poster and you hung that in your house.
You know what's weird is we actually, every show we do, we make 11 by 17s
Yes.
to send to the venues.
Mm-hmm.
And we always keep one.
Do you frame it?
Not yet.
Not yet?
There are plans.
Put it on your ceiling.
Because I don't know if you guys
Stare
have,
at it while you go
like,
to
you
bed.
guys have necessarily seen, but I draw from all different frames of reference when I make our flyers, whether it's a horror movie poster or it's comic covers, Goosebumps, just whatever I'm feeling at the time, and I just riff on it and take it and make it our own. Yeah, that's all I do.
And that's what it is. I mean, just originality. It's pretty awesome that,
He
I mean,
likes to play.
Goosebumps. And this cover, nonetheless. I mean, how many people would have thought of this Goosebumps reference? I mean,
We do.
it's amazing.
We remember.
If you want the full backstory of that, I was at my dad's house, and I was like, oh, my God, I have my Goosebump book collection. I haven't seen this in years. So I brought them out and started going through the covers, and I was like, there's really fucking cool art on here.
That gives me the
And as soon as I saw the Ghost Beach cover, I was like, that's whatever our next show is, I don't care. That's the flyer.
Are you stoked that they're bringing back Tales from the Crypt?
Yes.
I am too.
I'm nervous, though, because it's allegedly going to be on regular cable TV, and I feel like
Isn't it supposed to be on, like, FX?
See, and FX is a little bit more edgy.
It's
they have
very edgy.
they've got like
No,
Legions
it's
on there
gonna be on
now.
TNT.
But they also have you watched American Horror Story?
Yeah, American
Is
Horror
it
Story.
TNT?
It's going to be on TNT,
Okay,
and the
there
only
we go.
downside is M. Night Shyamalan.
No, I don't think that's a
It's a
downside at all.
twist.
I like his twist.
You know
and I
what?
like him as a director.
This is a whole other
What that
argument we
is?
could have for a podcast because
We should save it, you think?
yeah, I don't know, but all I was going to just quickly say is I think the M. Night Shyamalan thing on the Tales from the Crypt
Shamalama ding dong.
is more that he's presenting it. It's he decided he wanted to try to bring it back. It's not necessarily that he wrote the stories that they're going to do, but that it's M. Night Shyamalan presents Tales from the Crypt.
It's
I
because of the
M.
name
Night
behind
Shyamalama
it.
ding dong.
I
Correct.
think to grab it more attention. So they went
Slam your
with like
ding-dong?
a horror. I wouldn't call him a horror. I would call him like a psychological thriller writer that would be able to kind of put his own twist on things to make it kind of what it was.
Correct.
We'll have to see. I have high hopes for it. I'm hoping it's awesome.
I will
But
watch
that's-
with both eyes.
You better. But with that being said, we are going to wrap up the night. We have a song too that you guys had brought by request. We downloaded for you. It is a little a Latin punk band, is what you said.
Yeah, Fastidio. They're
Ooh.
from Indianapolis. Those
That's
dudes
not
are
Latin at all.
No. They are.
I thought they were like straight from Mexico.
They are
If you
Spain.
see them,
very Latin American.
Okay.
Yeah, long, curly. They play they're very fast, technical musicians. And we shared the stage with them. And right before we went on, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna warm the crowd up now." And they did Halloween.
Nice.
And it was weird because it wasn't on our set. Like we didn't plan that at
Oh,
all.
wow.
So it was like cool. You got them all hyped on our stuff, and then we went out and slayed. And those guys are great. So
Nice. So the song that I am going to butcher, trying to pronounce of what I downloaded, was No Si Quien.
no, see,
I don't
Kim.
know what that means. But here it is. You're going to have to say it again
Fastidio.
for me. Okay, there you go. And be sure to watch for Walk Among Us playing a ton of venues around the Midwest for right now. And we can't wait to get you guys back on when you guys record more stuff.
Date and
And-
time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all
for
we
sure.
need.
Until
Same
then,
bad time.
This was amazing.
Same bad channel.
And thank you for bringing the song to debut. That was an honor.
thank you. We
to release
appreciate
it. That was awesome.
It was
Yeah.
we like
Thanks,
to
guys.
play.
All right, here we go. Good night. See you next week. Boom.